Salute the gang as always and forever. We out here on some Spencer Turley action. No face cam, full rant energy. Let's start this shit out right. What's up, my dudes? As you can tell by the stream title. Wait, this ain't a stream, it's a fucking video. You click the video, you know what you're here to see. You're here to see some Lorettas. That's something I've talked about, well, not Lorettas specifically, but custom tracks here in GP19. I've been a proponent of the custom tracks in any milestone game. I don't know what they get added in MESX1 or something like that. And when I heard that when I heard GP Pro didn't have custom tracks, I was like, boo! But when I heard that GP19 was going to have custom tracks, I was excited. I thought that that was going to be one of the saving graces of this game. Any of the PC Moto games' longevity is usually based off of community-made content. So, no custom tracks, short life of game. It's been pretty simple for all the previous games. Well, we're not getting full custom tracks with milestone games like we would with an MX Simulator or even MX vs. ATV Reflex, but Milestone has done what they've done before in Supercross the game and given us pre-made, I guess you could say pre-made selections of pieces we can go through and allow people to set up tracks. Well, we just completed one lap here. And this is my man, Something Rad replica of Loretta Lynns. I think he picked a perfect track for an attempt for a first replica of a AMA, of a North American, a popular track. I mean, a replica can be any track. It doesn't have to be a National Series track, but Marcus obviously picked an extremely popular, you could call semi-national level track. It's the biggest amateur national of the season, so I think it's fair to call it a national level track. The reason why I say that our man Something Rad, aka Shark Tank, aka Marcus, picked a phenomenal track for the first track to do for a replica is because a lot of you do know, or a lot of you know, or if you don't know, Milestone did not give anyone the option to add elevation to custom tracks, and a lot of you might know that Loretta's is a famously flat track. So, hence why I believe Marcus picked a great track to try to see what was available for us to try to mimic national caliber tracks. Once again, we don't have elevation, so that takes out a large percentage of tracks. Your Glen Helens, your Washougas, your Unadillas. I could go on, I'm sure. But it does not mean that people can't make phenomenal tracks and national caliber sorta replicas. It looks like the main issue obviously is going to be elevation. I can think of a couple of tracks, I think, like maybe PIR, Thursday Night Motocross. It's a famous, pretty flat track. Maybe even Kenworthy, Troy, Ohio was a pretty flat track. You know, you'd have to be one hell of a detective and go through some footage and probably put together a culmination of a few years, seeing as Kenworthy has been off the circuit for a few years now. Some of you guys probably have no idea what the hell I'm even talking about. For all of you that do, I love you. Now say it back. As I said, this video is going to be a rant. I don't usually do videos of this type, but I said fuck it. Spencer Turley got me hyped up on this energy right now. So let's go, boys and girls. Let's go into the nitty gritty. We're not going to talk about the game itself. We're not going to discuss physics. We're not going to discuss comparisons. We've done all that on the live streams, and we'll continue to do that on the live streams. Right now, here in the now, what we're here to debate is the replica caliber of a Loretta Lynns track. This is, once again, Something Rad's Loretta Lynns replica, available for everyone to grab on the PC version of Mxgp 2019. And I have yet to make a track in all of these games. The track editor is available. Yes, I have said multiple times I'm going to make a track, and I've still yet to do it. Please, someone hold me to it. Please, somebody make me make a track on one of these upcoming live streams. We can't race these tracks online with anyone, so that's kind of been a big motivator from keeping me from making a track, but nonetheless and all the more. The question at hand is, how do I feel about Something Rad's Loretta Lynns replica? I think that was a great place to maybe start picking this apart. I've talked to Marcus myself about it. He knows what he did to make this track. He knows what was available to make this track. Now, we'll probably see people start using different obstacles and pieces in places that maybe weren't originally done by Marcus, but that's to see here in the future. Well, as I said, we'll start back with the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments, a very famous section of Loretta Lynns. It is a rhythm, well, not a rhythm section, but it's a giant whoop section. The whoops may vary from year to year, but more often than not, they're gigantic. They are just a massively big whoop section. From what I'm hearing, there aren't whoops available or small rollers. I'm not positive of the extent of that because, as I said, I haven't built a track myself, so I can't criticize on whether or not Marcus used the right piece or not. But what I can criticize is whether or not the scaling feels accurate to past Loretta Lynns that I've played. You know, Reflex replica, MX Sim replica, MX vs. ATV All Out just released a replica. And I've got to say, starting back with the 10 Commandments, obviously no. The 10 Commandments do not hit like the other 10 Commandments previously because we don't have... Well, Marcus didn't use rollers, and I'm not going to say we don't have them because I don't know. And I'm not going to gas Marcus and say he used the wrong pieces, but for the pieces that Marcus decided to go with this, yes, they are a little bit bigger than the 10 Commandments would normally be. Do these feel like rollers that I can bomb into? Yeah, they do, but they're rather large. Now, coming out of that, this should be a split section, but split sections aren't available in this game, so you can only do so much. I think Marcus implemented the best jumps he could as far as that tabletop triple section back there. We had a roller, it was a little smaller than other versions. Here's usually kind of a step downy with a lip at the end launch, and then it's got that inside line. I think Marcus utilized the hell out of that inside line back there. Tabletop, pretty relative. Now this section's a little longer than it would be in any of the replicas we've seen. A lot more sand normally, but once again, Marcus may have been limited with the pieces. I know he's going to be uploading a video, if he hasn't already by the time this is up, explaining the process of what he did to go through the track building of Loretta's. So I'll be watching that. It hasn't dropped as of the time of filming this, so I can't reference that, but I will be watching it once it does come out. Spoilers if it hasn't come out before this video. Okay, so this is obviously right after the finish line section, crossing back over the start where the big banner that shows off all the past champions would be. This is a little long of a section than it normally is, but once again, there could be size restrictions and limitations in this game. I feel like Marcus did a great job replicating this section as best as he could, what feels like is available in this game. And we come back around to the straightaway for the 10 Commandments. Now, the banks of, like, the angles aren't quite there. Loretta's has a lot of, like, it doesn't have a lot of straight lines. But, once again, limitations of a game that has pre-made obstacles. Going back to this, like I said, this is supposed to be a split lane, but, once again, well-placed objects. I think this is a really well-placed object. This roller's smaller than previous, but, once again, limitations, I think, that he didn't have anything he could get around. I gotta say, man, and you guys know, I am a big fan of these milestone games. I'm probably a bigger fan of these milestone games than the majority of the Moto YouTube community. And, look, I'm having a blast riding this track. If I want to go in and go nitty-gritty on my man, Let's go. Okay, how is this a replica on a scale of 1 to 10? How would this fare as a replica? Well, in no shade to my man, I think with the limitations that he had with the pre-made pieces and what you can do with this game, I'd give this a solid 6, maybe a 7, but I'd give it a solid 6. It's a good track. It is definitely above a shitty track, but yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. Honestly, I'll give it a hard 7. Honestly, I think that the parts where it fell short are very minute, and we'll take points for them. And I think that he utilized pieces as best as he could and made like stuff like this. I think this is a great representation. I think it's a great replica. Is it accurate to this year's Loretta's? Probably not. But does it give the feel? I wouldn't say this is a Loretta's any year replica. This is a Loretta's tribute. And I think that's how all these tracks are going to be. I think we're going to have a lot of tribute I'm thinking tribute bikes. I'm thinking my AC tribute. Go back and check out the reflector. I'm thinking we're going to have a lot of tribute tracks. I think that that's how any replicas are going to be. They're not going to be replicas. They're going to be tributes. They're going to be inspirations. And if we're going to go, how is this fair as a Loretta's replica? Yeah, we'll go 6 or 7. We'll go 6 or 7 for Loretta's replica. How is this fair as the Loretta's tribute? Solid 8. Solid 8 up there, man. I think this track is going to be racy if we ever get a chance to race these online. I think the scaling's great. I think if you rode this track, if you didn't tell someone what track, if you didn't see what track got picked, they're in an online lobby, and we started racing, and they didn't see the name of the track, and they were going around, and they played Loretta's in the past, they'd go, is this supposed to be Loretta's? And that's it right there, Chief. I think that's everything you could hope for when you're trying to make one of these tribute replicas. Look, it is fucking 4:30 in the morning, and I'm high as giraffe ass. But I had to come out here on the one deuce nickel and hold it down for my boy on this first, and I'm giving him that moniker, this first tribute / replica / Loretta Lynns out here's. Boys and girls, if you're on PC, check it out for yourself. My man Something Rad made it. If you're on console, well, I love you. I'm sorry. Now say it back. Get the out of here. Yay!
I'm too fresh, I'll feel it.